Hello friends and fellow gamers, MKxJUMP here, and today we're checking out this week's event for Idle Heroes, which is a Profit Orb event, and a lot of people are kind of itching to use their orbs, because even after Anniversary they didn't get that many soul symbols, so maybe this is an event for you, but it's probably not going to be. Now, there's a Gala this week as well, which will break down whether you should go ahead and invest in this. Maybe you've got enough contract story gems, maybe you don't, so we're going to talk about that as well in today's video, and I'm really going to be putting a big warning out to people that aren't used to going in on galas, or maybe you're a free-to-play player, because I've been getting the same question over and over again from these players, and I really think it's a bad idea for you to do what you keep asking if it's a good idea to do. So more on that when we get there, and it does involve the B stone, so make sure you watch until we get to the gala bit, because it's going to be pretty helpful for everyone, especially budget players. Now, before we go ahead and check out the event, let me do a quick shout out to some new patrons who've backed us over on Patreon. They've backed us because they can get rewards, including the opportunity to join us for account reviews on Tuesdays, where they can send me images of their account and have a one-to-one chat about where they should go and the directions and tricks they can use to allow themselves to make more progress with their Idle Heroes account. If that's something you're interested in, go into our Discord and check out more information about account reviews, and maybe back me on Patreon using that link up there in the top corner of the screen. A shout out goes to 4Cubed, Augustus Vinculus, Mika Van Fassen, Bobby Trill, and Rai Velas. So thank you so much for your support, guys, and hopefully we see you, if we haven't already, on a Tuesday. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out this week's event for Idle Heroes. So this week is a Profit Orb event, so we're getting 5 sweet lollipops and a Profit Orb. The lollipops could be used in the Fantasy Factory to make some progress, and of course Profit Orbs can be either used or saved for future events. Now, the main stuff about this week is we have a Soul Awakening session, where basically it's no doubt that we're going to hit the Wonder of Immortal once we've got a ton of people that start using their Soul Awakens. In fact, tons of people have already begun. First thing is that if you're in the top 50, you get yourself an A- stone or higher, all the way up to a triple S stone for the person that comes number 1. A lot of people have been asking, hey, should I just go ahead and use tons of starry gems and do tons of awakens to try and get in the top 50? I mean, you can certainly try, but I know anybody that's done it has ended up having to use tens of thousands of starry gems, convert them in the auction house to get even more, and then retire everything they pull. As well, it requires them to open hundreds and hundreds of 5 stars worth of food and awaken them. And if you start running out of good heroes like Mockben and Vulcans, or even just any Transcendence hero to awaken, you might start awakening bad heroes, and nothing is worse than hitting that juicy A- on a bad hero if you're doing that many summons. So you've just got to be really careful about this, and if you're going to chase it, you've got to make sure you've got enough 5 stars, and you've also got to make sure you've got the starry gems to do this. Also, you have to absolutely be prepared to hit B+ and fail, and that's why I would never risk this. It is a huge gamble, and if you get too many people competing, they're all just going to be rushing and rushing and rushing at the end of the event to awaken as many copies as possible, and just screwing over their wallets and their accounts at the same time. So if I was going to recommend to anybody, if you think it's worth pushing this, it isn't. I think you should absolutely just use your starry gems, if you are going to think about doing something like this, to buy stuff from the auction house. We have here the childhood dreams from last week, so make sure you go ahead and cash in your windmills. We've got our value packages for this week, which is gems, Profit Orbs, and lollipops. Probably not worth it, to be honest. I don't really see the appeal here. Buying Profit Orbs with money is never nice. And then the sweet lollipops can help you in the Fantasy Factory, but the weird thing as always with Fantasy Factory is the rewards are capped, so once you've got them, it kind of stops being good what goes beyond here. And even nowadays, I don't think artifacts are that necessary, and the new artifacts aren't here either, so it's just kind of meh. The only thing that is added now is Gilded Purple Fan, and it's all because we got a new artifact during Anniversary, so that's nice, I suppose, but honestly, if you're going to be pushing this, I don't think it's actually the event to go for. I think if you're going to spend money on any event, I don't think Fantasy Factory is the one. And you might argue, hey, maybe it is worth it, because we have this week a Summer Melody, which is going to give us points for Profit Orbs and points for using Honey Stars. And if you actually go ahead and check out this package up here, this is giving you times 5 rewards for that. So that's 5 times points for this Summer Melody, which is kind of nice. But you'll notice there's a bit of a gap here where there would normally be a chest that gives some decent rewards, including maybe a sublimation chest if we're lucky. Well, that's not here, and that's a bit annoying. These chests give Stellar Shards and Transcendence Copy stuff, Spiritual Lessons, which we don't need, and Master's Toolboxes, which actually a lot of spenders don't need either. So the only appeal here is the Stellar Shards. And we worked it out so you don't have to, that if you just go ahead and buy this $100 package, you'll get all the rewards you see, plus the stuff from the Honey Star stuff, But the main thing here is the Summer Melody. If you don't use any Prophet Orbs, it's going to get you around 3,000 points after you've considered the ×5. And those 3,000 points will be enough to go ahead and get you just over 600,000 Stellar Shards. $100 for 600,000 Stellar Shards is bad value, because you can just go ahead here and for $100 buy 6 of these monthly deluxe chests, which contain 250,000, which is 1.5 million Stellar Shards. Much better value in my opinion. So if you're a spender looking to invest, I really don't think this package is actually worth it, because the main privileges and perks are the Summer Melody, which really doesn't feel like it's giving us that great rewards, and even though it is giving us Stellar Shards, it's not giving us a lot. When you even start throwing Prophet Orbs in there, you're still not getting any sublimation or artifacts to show for it, and in that case, I don't think it's actually worth it. There's not even treasure train tickets being rewarded here. So when it comes to what is good for progress, I don't think actually buying that and getting all this stuff is going to help. On top of that, we also have the Prophet Summon event itself, where you can go ahead and use your Prophet Orbs to go ahead and this time get Mockman, which is kind of nice. I know some people will just do this for the Mockman copy, but given that there's no actual sublimation benefits from the Summer Melody or anything like an artifact available, and that we've seen the things like Valentine's Day's event and the Mecha Raid event be really, really cool events with really fantastic rewards for a Prophet Orb event, it makes me question whether it's even worth using the orbs this week and just instead saving them for a much better month, which will inevitably come. So I actually think just ignore anything about this event to do with Prophet Orbs. There will be better Prophet Orb events in the future, which leads us nicely to the big stuff then for this week, which is of course the Soul Awakening Gala, the main thing people are going to get hype about. Now, first of all, we've got a Soul contract where you can use a 6-star from each faction and convert them to 100 contract story gems. So that will help you get some contract story gems either for a future Gala or this one. And then of course there's a question of where should you actually go ahead and stop or aim for if you're doing this Gala. Well, 100 is going to get you an artifact. That's nice. It includes Gilded Purple Fan, but that's not going to be a big reward for you when you consider the investment, because 150 is actually going to start getting you sublimation, and that's really, really good. But if you go all the way to 300, you'll see there is actually a full sublimation chest here, and that is the reward you want to go for. If you cannot get to 300, I do not think this is worth it. And many people, myself included, have in the past just gone to 200 because that triggers the Soul Awakening session. You can see here, if you reach 200 points, you will get ranked for these rewards. And if you don't make it into the top 100, you will get yourself a B-Stone. A B-Stone is not worth it to go to 200 points, when an extra 100 points would get you an Essence Sublimation chest. And you're probably thinking, MK, how do I get the points? Well, it depends on the awakens you do in the Soul Temple, so it is completely random. Some people will high roll, some people will low roll. Generally, I think if you're going to try and aim for 300 points, you need to have like 3,500 contract story gems already on your account to go. But even then, to get to 300, some people have had to use 4,000 or in some cases even 5,000 contract story gems. So I would not go in on this unless I felt really certain I was going to get super far. And honestly, I probably would go in with this as well if I had actually Awakening Resonance Crystals that I felt comfortable using to then guarantee the fact I get this. For many of you, you do not have that security, and I would, especially if you're a free-to-play player, just save until you do have 4,000, 5,000 contract story gems where you can comfortably go and hit that 300 mark. It is better to have too many contract story gems to do this and then just save them for the future than to not have enough, get to like 250, and then realize there's no way for you to get to 300. If that happens to you, you have wasted so many contract story gems and missed out on the top reward. Now, you might be asking, hey, should I go for half a core? You don't need to. For people that are budget players or just trying to get resources for their account, you need Starwing Jara's core and Star Alchemist Holmes Young's core. And bear in mind, from Void Campaign, you actually get a core for free. So you only really ever need to invest in one core during your time as a player, and that's probably going to be your Starwing Jara core to get you through campaign to the point where you unlock Star Alchemist Holmes Young's core. Now, if you're going to get both of those cores, then you can realize you actually only need 2 Core of Origin chests if you're a super budget player. However, if you're going to be going and investing in Transcendence Heroes, which everybody does, you're going to need 2 melon chests just for an active skill upgraded on a hero. That means when you start looking at passives on heroes like Freya and Halora, active skills on Aspen, Jara, and Halora again, you start to realize you're going to need a lot more melon chests than you will need Core of Origin chests. So I think for smart reasons, it's always best to go for sublimation when you can, because there are events eventually that do give you a Core of Origin shard without giving you sublimation as a choice. And that's when you go for the Core of Origins. And for many people, especially if you're using a Lord of Fear Aspen, for example, you won't even need or have the hero that can use a good Core of Origin until you've got 4 Transcendence heroes. So it is a huge journey until you get to that point. And in that time, you'll probably find DH games give us more Core of Origins. So my advice to everybody out here is it is only worth going and doing this Gala if you have enough contract story gems to get to 300 points so you can get the sublimation chest. If you cannot do that, it is not worth it. And what's even more annoying about this actually is that treasure coupon right here at 70. Well, last time we had one of these events, you were getting 2 more for 100, 3 more for 150. There was a breakpoint at 200, which gave you a B crystal, which instead has been shifted over to the Soul Awakening session this time round. And that, of course, was giving you a B crystal mid summons, which was actually going to get you extra points. So you might even need more contract story gems than we had last time. And that was giving you 4 of those treasure train tickets. And then that meant that 300 was giving you 5. So we were getting 15 treasure train tickets on top of the sublimation chests and the artifact chest for doing that Gala. This time round, you're getting 1 treasure train coupon. So I find that a little bit annoying. I think DH games have kind of screwed us over there, and it's a shame. It would have been cool if we could have just had 15 treasure coupons. It's not like that's a huge ask for players. It's already a massive investment just to get to 300 points. The treasure coupons just help to make that even more worth it. On a topic of treasure coupons, some exciting news for this week. We actually have Hero Token as the benefit. So anyone that's been saving treasure coupons like myself for when Hero Token does become the main thing, well, now is the week to use it. So that is really good news. But be warned, the reset is in 21 hours. So you might want to wait until that resets until you go ahead and do this, because then that's going to give you the rest of the month to get up to 150. So just bear that in mind before you go crazy. That timer exists. Finally, let's go take a look at next week's event. We've got ourselves a Sky Labyrinth event with a Mysterious Chest event, and of course a Wishing Fountain event as well, but this time they're giving us Eloise as a reward, which will be bait for newer players, I'm sure, because Eloise is the best first E5 that you can get on your account if you can build her, and getting copies from here will definitely help. However, going in on a Wishing Fountain event is not that great, unless it's giving you top rewards like an artifact or sublimation or maybe a Core of Origin. So that's going to be awkward if next week's event doesn't do that and a bunch of new players start chasing Eloises, only to then have no wishing coins in the future. So make sure you subscribe to see my breakdown of next week's event to see if it's actually worth going for that Eloise. Either way, this week's event seems pretty chill. Good luck getting your pieces in the Fantasy Factory, and save your orbs. There's not really a reason to do it, because that extended bit on the bottom, the Summer Melody, isn't actually giving as many Stellar Shards as you'd think, and that makes that $100 package just not worth it, in my opinion. Either way, I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a good week, and happy idling.